Ah, Spider-Verse, the gift that keeps on giving. Back in 2018, we were introduced into Into the Spider-Verse, starring Miles Morales starting out as Spider-Man. And now, 5 years later, we're back and seeing him again with Across the Spider-Verse. Now how does this fare as a Spider-Man movie? Honestly, this movie is nothing short of a cinematic masterpiece. Without giving away details of the plot, Across the Spider-Verse focuses on Miles really coming to terms to what it means to be a Spider-Man, and how that affects him, his family, and his entire life. But don't be confused, this is also very much a Gwen story. Gwen also has to come to terms with what it means to be a Spider-Woman and the sacrifices it takes. The overall plot of the movie is also fantastic, really showing the consequences of your actions. I'd like to delve into it more, but I really don't want to spoil it. It's something if you go to the movies, you have to experience it for yourself. So let's move on to something a bit different. When it comes to the Spider People and Across the Spider-Verse, Sony, I give you a standing ovation. Seeing so many diverse Spider-Man creations was just so astounding. I mean, we got Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, we got Spider-Punk, Spider-Man India, Spider-Man 2099. It was just honestly crazy as a comic book fan. Not only that, the love and care put into the designs was just astounding. Spider-Man India in the original comics, it was basically just a Spider-Man in a toga or something, but now they really revamped him to look like he's actually someone from India, and sounds like him too. Spider-Punk was also another cool design, considering how colorful he was. It's like every time he moved, it was like it just different frames all blended together, but somehow it still worked. Although to be honest, one of my favorites had to have been Spider-Bite's design. I love that whole techno look she was going for. It looks so CGI-esque, but at the same time it still fit within the standards of the animation. I was also a big fan of all the designs we saw in the Spider Society, seeing Insomniac Peter, Spectacular Spider-Man, the Spider-Man from those old cartoons, even saw Superior a little there. I thought that was all nice. Although I will admit I am a little bit remiss at the fact we didn't see Penny Parker, Spider-Ham, or Spider-Man Noir. I don't really know why they were excluded so much from this movie, but hopefully in Beyond the Spider-Verse we get to see them.
And then I looked at my uncle and...
let me guess. He died?
Into the Spider-Verse was known for its masterful use of animation, and Across the Spider-Verse is no different. This is such a visually astounding movie that honestly, it's just a work of art in every scene. Each world we got to see had its own unique sense of style and animation. Gwen's world was all colorful and emotional, especially when it came to her emotions. Spider-Man India's world was all glossy, but in a good way. Miguel's world was all futuristic, but at the same time, you'd still feel like, this actually makes a bit of sense if we were in the year 2099. And then there's the final Earth that we saw, which I won't spoil too much about, but I can say that Earth, it really used colors to showcase the kind of desolate society it was, even more so than Gwen's world. I also commend Sony for using the live-action versions. I admit, I haven't really seen the Venom movies, but the fact that Miss Chen, who appeared in the Venom movies, showed up of all things, was actually quite amusing.
Why do people say ATM machine?
Who said that?
The M stands for machine.
Spider-Man!
When it comes to the soundtrack, I'm happy to report that it's just amazing. Daniel Pemberton really outdid himself. There are a number of soundtracks that stood out to me, like Gwen Stacy's theme and Miguel O'Hara's theme, and the theme that plays during the New York chase scene was particularly excellent, but the best one to me was the one we heard at the end. It contains an allusion to a fan favorite soundtrack from the first movie, but since it's kind of spoiler territory, I won't say it. Instead, I'll move on to the voice acting, and honestly, the voice acting in this movie was spectacular. Shameik Moore and Haley Steinfeld really brought their A-game as Miles and Gwen. But honestly, Oscar Isaac as Miguel O'Hara, I didn't know I needed until I watched this movie. He was just that good. Jake Johnson's role as Peter B. Parker was a bit different this time. He served more as a mentor rather than a fighter, and I do appreciate the fact that his change in approach really helped elevate just how different Peter B. Parker's become. I also love the performances of Brian Tyree Henry and Luna Lauren Velez. Their performances really help elevate the concern any parent would have for a child who's constantly lying to them, constantly disappearing, and grade slipping. So, props to them. But honestly, my biggest heap of praise has to be for Jason Schwartzman, who plays the Spot. The line delivery for the Spot was just astounding. The way Schwartzman was able to capture both the comedic nature and terrifying nature for the Spot was just perfect. If I had any criticism to give regarding the voice acting in Spider-Verse, it probably would be it's a little hard to hear it. I don't know if it was anyone else, but it was a little hard to hear people sometimes. I don't know if it was an audio mixing or a theater problem, but there were instances where it was just too drowned out. This was especially apparent at the beginning of the movie with Gwen's monologue. I could barely hear it.
Do I, have web on my face? What's the deal?
Miles! He's right there! He's right there! Turn around!
To summarize Across the Spider-Verse, it's a wonderful sequel to Into Spider-Verse, it's a wonderful Spider-Man film, and frankly, you should give this a watch if you're a Spider-Man fan. Frankly, if you're a comic book fan, please give this a watch. Honestly, if you're a fan of animation, you must give this a watch. It is truly just that good of a movie. The plot, the characters, the animation, the style, all of it's great. You might have a little harder hearing the dialogue at the beginning of the movie, but otherwise, this is the perfect movie to watch.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, try to give a like or leave a comment. If you didn't like what you saw, try to leave me some feedback to see in ways I can improve. Thank you. Have a nice day.